Okay, so last time we were looking at the different eyes that were possible and what we should do with the eyes to make them work how we want them to work. Now, I'm just looking over the details. Obviously, these were the simple eyes. Could have done those better, to be honest. But you get the point. And then these are slightly more complicated. And we stepped up to this one. And then finally this one. Now this is where we need to be taking things, considering the complexity of this model here. If we zoom in, this is great. It looks like I've actually moved the face over there. I'll try putting it back. There we go. I'm not sure why we've lost the nose, but we're not doing the nose right now, so we're just going to ignore that. So yeah, so these are nice eyes. These. So look, if we zoom in on this again, I am actually going to move the face over here again. I'm going to select all the bits associated with the eye, and I'm going to move them to a place that I can work better on them. So here's a nice spot here. So just grab the bits and pieces. And I don't really like working small, so just going to grab this corner while they're all selected. Obviously we put the finger down to make them stay the same size and shape. Expand them out. And of course, because it's vector, it's not pixelated at all. We've just expanded that eye to that. And it looks perfect. Now, let's see, what have we actually got going on here? If I am actually a case in hand here, we don't ever want to get into a position where we've lost what we've worked on. So if we select all this, click on the copy, and we'll just make a quick copy and we'll put it down here out of the way so we never lose anything. Now we're going to zoom in on, do our testing on this eye. So if I grab it there, okay, we seem, oh, okay, I've still got the copy on. Always remember to remove the copy as well, because we don't really want that to happen. Okay, so we only have one eyelid there. Now, we're missing a bottom eyelid here by the looks of things. But we have got the top eyelid, and that does come over the eye. It looks beautiful, of course. That's all cool. All right. This here isn't really the same shape as this. So, if we just pop out of this a moment, go into this. Now we need something that works in this way. So of course, what we did here is, if I just move this over here a minute, we've got top, bottom eyelid, top, bottom eyelid. Then we've got this bit, which is the eyeball, right here. Now this is obscured by this mask that sits between the eyeball and the eyelids. As you can see, the eyelids are on top, the eyeball is behind. So if we go back into this and we grab this and this, and in this case I think we'll just simply cut it because we've still got this one here, so we don't need to worry about this file. We're going to a new file. Right, we usually use that one, so we'll continue to use this one. We'll pop it in. Now, let's see. This is not going to be of any use. And the reason I say that is this has got nowhere to move. This core central bit here has got nowhere to move inside of this. It's going to start creating distortions in the animation software because it's treating this as the area that can move within. So if we put this aside and instead we need a new circle. Okay, this has actually taken on these properties of this, which is actually a really good thing because we can expand it out, and there we go. Oh, I'm still making them. Okay, so back to the selection tool. If we take this back over here, okay, it's too high up. So if we push it backwards, oh, nope, still not far enough back. Push it back again. Oh. Right, okay, that's still not far enough back. Let's just check the layers. Right, everything is obviously on one layer. In this instance, we need, I'm just going to create a bunch of layers actually. Let's create another one actually. Right, okay, so if I click on that one, and we'll call this one eyeball. Nice and simple. It's not eyeball 2, so I'll just get rid of that 2 that was there. Okay, let's go cool. If we select this, cut, not copy, cut in this case, so it's gone. And we select this, we're back in, we paste. Now this is on this level here. Now I think that would put it right up at the top. I could be wrong. Oops. There we go. If I do that, yeah, it's behind now. Okay, so yeah, look, just reminding myself of something here. The lower down the layer is, the further back it is as well. Right, so now we have the central bit, the bit that looks, and it's in a position where it can go up, down, round, and everywhere. It's not exactly looking like this, but that's a good thing because we're doing animation here. So just purely aesthetic is not enough for the asset. It needs this to move around. Now before we go any further, this here, that doesn't look round to me. So I'm going to draw a perfectly round one. about the same size. That's about the same size, but it is actually round now. We'll pop that in the middle, and we'll get rid of that. That's neater and tidier now. This all needs to be on another layer. So let's make it, we'll make it this layer, because everything's sitting on this layer 1 at the moment. And I want to keep that as is until we've fully just distributed, separated everything out. So if we just get rid of all that, and we call this, we'll call it the pupil. I can't fully remember the naming methodologies at this moment in time, but we're not worried. I'm just looking for separation so we can work with it when it transfers over to Illustrator. This is critical. Oh, I'm not sure why it drew something there. Let's use my finger instead. Does that work? Yep, that's working. Okay, so we'll pop that there. Right, we have the eyeball, which is apparently layer eyeball. Stop it from doing that. We have the eyeball and the pupil separated now onto their own layers. So if we just go back to this a minute. In fact, this is the reflection. I think what we'll do is we'll actually keep it for the meantime. But of course, the reflection should be on top. It is now on top. So it looks correct. If we grab that and we drag this over here, we'll just pop it in the middle for now. Now, say if you strip someone's flesh away, and their skull and everything, your eyeball's almost round. It's not really round, but in this case, it's better for us to have a round one for the animation. Now, we're gonna have more than one style of eyebrow, but for now, we'll just leave that up there. And I tell you what, I think it'd be a good idea for us to actually put it on its own layer. So if we just do that, and we'll just call it eyebrow for now. Okay. Let's pop this down here. Now we clearly need more layers because we're running out of layers now. Now I'm thinking the lids of the eye, they need to be on the same layer. So if we call this eyelids. And if we just grab the eyelids, cut, make sure that we've selected it here, paste back in. There we go. Now, this bottom eyelash, it does not have a lid. Before, that wasn't a problem because it was going out on the bottom of this. Now, it is an extremely big problem because obviously we've got all this eyeball that's in the way. Well, it's been exposed, it's not in the way exactly, that's not the right way to put it. So, I think the easiest thing to do is just grab that, duplicate it, turn duplication off, I'm always forgetting to do that, and invert it, which I believe is that one. Now, let's see how much this follows this bottom eyelash. Now, it's not really following, but I think we've got a secondary issue in as much as the top eyelid always looks bigger than the bottom eyelid. So let's make that smaller anyway. Let's see. Is that matching it a bit better? A little bit better. Keep going. Now just at this point, while I'm doing this, I'm thinking, do we have any eyelids for these? Now we don't have any eyelids for these. These are your complete eye set, really. This is great. It looks awesome, and it's easily workable. But they don't have eyelids. This is something true. Just go back into this. I think I just undid something there. Now this clearly has to follow that. So I'm thinking for now we could just change the angle. Zoom in further. Right, okay, so I need the node tool here. Just deselect, reselect, and I need that to connect. Now obviously we've created a bit more eyelash here, we don't really want that, so if I just grab something there and then pull it back down to that point, I think I'd like that to be up into the corner too. Well, that's looking okay, it's following the eyelid. The top one's following the eyelid anyway, pretty much, I would say. Looking at this, if I tap that, I feel as though we've got an unnecessary kink here. So if I just select that, and I'm just going to get rid of it. Now obviously it's changed the shape. Oh, and I've just undone what I've done as well. Right, change the shape, okay. And we still want that overall aesthetic. I think a bit of symmetry actually makes a lot of sense in this case for the bottom eyelid. But you can pretty much adjust it all from this anyway. So if we just scrunch it up, that's all good. This seems to be going back on itself right here. So let's see. Let's make it thinner. And we'll take it right to the edge. We'll take that down. We'll take this down. Right. And that's following it. Okay, we've still got a little bit of something showing there. Tell you what, in this case, let's stop stretching the eyelash. Let's actually take this back. Not by a massive amount though. And I think I've exposed something there, so it only really matters what you can actually see. although it is nice to make sure that anything you make is made even perfectly, even stuff that is out of sight. I need to change this because I keep on undoing things. Basically, if I tap my pencil, oh, definitely didn't want to do that though. If I tap my pencil, it undoes what I did before. Which I don't want to happen all the time. It's sometimes helpful. But as you can see, I keep on doing things that I've actually done as well, which is not so great. I think it's overly sensitive. Right, I think the key thing here is that this matches that. Don't worry about the eyeball. So we need to make a comparison now. That pretty much matches, although it looks like the overall orientation isn't right. That's not too bad. Although we've got a very narrow field now, so I think we need this to arc a bit more. Looking at the other eyes, they are very round. The biggest arc is actually at the top. The bottom arc is less severe. So the top one is really sort of woof. Bottom one more like that. Okay. So working with this in mind, because this is the end result, these are the eyes. This is the kind of thing that we'll be using. This one is probably fairly accurate in that then. This one needs to be more rounded. So I'll do that. Just like that. That's pretty arcs now. And we want it to still basically join. And then if we tap on, nope, tap on that. Okay, get rid of that, tap on that, there we go. We got it. We got it in the end. Now, make the eyelashes nice and fine still. Right, that might work a little bit better now. Because we obviously want some space here. If we put this here, and we put this here, right. Have you spotted the problem? We have an eyeball, we have eyelids, that's great. But of course, we have this here, and this here, and this here at the bottom, and the top bit as well. Basically, we don't have this shape anymore. But this is what we need for animation. So how are we going to make that work? This is easy. If we go back into here, we grab this. In this case, we will copy. So there we go, that's copy. And then we go back into here. We paste. Obviously that's extremely small now because I've made the eye much larger. We stretch it out. Probably even more so than that. I'm not sure where we got two copies, maybe I hit paste twice, I'm not sure. We just move all this over here. Now this is the trick. This is going to regain our shape. And this is how it's going to do it. We're going to grab this, just work out how big we need this to be. This needs to be bigger. Oops. We don't need to worry about it going off the canvas. It can always be made smaller later. 2 eyes worth. Yeah, around about. I think maybe just a little bit bigger. Now I'm not really going to worry about the shape of this face right this moment. However, I would like to take all these kinks out, make it cohesive. So we've got a weird bump here, very weird kink right here. We don't want any of that. We won't worry about that right this moment. I'm just concerned with if we've got the full shape. Now, of course, we're going to need 2 of these. And this one needs to be the opposite way around. So, there we go, I think. Oh yeah, it was just a bit of a glitch. It seemed to not be working for a minute then. Right, so I've pasted this to the eyelid layer. We won't worry about that too much right this moment. However, I do need this to show on top. Let's see if that's actually happening. Nope, still not happening. Okay, let's try this then. Let's try moving this to the background. I think these are probably on a different layer, if I'm going to make a guess. Okay, looks like I've slightly pushed my iPad out of alignment. Right, okay. So, let's just remind myself of what I'm doing here. Okay, if I just move this over here, I'll tell you what. Let's grab these, cut them, move this back over, go back here, make sure that's selected right there, and paste back in. That's better. Now we can see things. Okay, so we want them that way around. Let's see if I can position these about right. So, it's probably about there. Okay, so this is the wizardry. We are going to select all this. We don't care about the colour on these at all. It's just the shape. That's what we're after. Let's see if I remember which one to use. Is it that one? That is definitely not the right one. But it's interesting what's happened. Oh, actually, it has cut it out, hasn't it? That's the one I want, though. So now what we have is a mask. Now this is a big deal. Go back to the layers. Now this is where it's going to become critical. It looks like we've got the eyebrow and the main eyeball, the pupil bit on there. Okay, that's slightly surprising. Okay. I seem to have the pupil on the wrong one. So I'll just neaten this up. So this one's going to be called pupil instead. Pupil. This one can be called eyebrow. I better still just use the eyebrow one. That's an option. We'll just go away with that. Select that. Cut. Eyebrow. Paste. That's better. Okay. Now we've got the pupil. And we've got the eyeball. And then we have this on the eyelids layer. Right, I've been a bit clumsy with this, but not to worry. We'll call these the eyelids. No, actually, call this the face. Grab this. Cut. Just like that. Paste. There we go. The face is on its own layer now. That's great. The eyelids, oh, they are on their own layer. Okay, that's okay then. I thought they weren't for a minute. Right, okay. So we need this mask to actually go between the pupil and eyeball and the eyelids. So I think the best thing to do here is to get hold of the pupil. Oh. Looks like I locked it. I always find it a bit difficult to do this. Let's put the eyeball and pupil near together. Okay. Let's put the eyebrow right up at the top. If you'll let me. There we go. Now we've got the eyelids higher than the face and the pupil and the eyeball below. So what's this going to do? It's going to allow it to do that. Now, looking at this, the eyeball is probably not sufficiently large because we've got a little bit here and a little bit there. So we just push that back. We then select this and make sure keep it the same size by dropping the finger on like we always do. Make it a bit bigger and push it back into alignment. Let's check again. Does it work now? No, not really. So we're going to do the slightly more difficult method of tapping there, actually increasing the size. Well, we can't fully see it. There we go. And we have an eye again. So move it over again. Right. So now what we have is the mask, the eyeball, and the pupil, and the eyelashes, and the eyebrow. It's all there. But now we have a version that can be animated. And nothing weird's going to happen to the eye. I'm going to duplicate this, flip it around and put it there as well. And then we've got a fully functional face. Now, all that we've done is basically this, with detail. Obviously I made that very quickly. You can continue to add to these until they become really amazing, like this eye is. And these. Now, these all need eyelids. They all need eyeballs to work from. It makes sense for the eyeball actually to be used in every single instance of all these different eyes here. The eyebrows work independently, much like when we made this. You get all the different mouths, for instance, and you stack them on top of each other. And then the software, as long as you've properly layered in Illustrator, actually chooses the mouth that's appropriate. Now in the case of the eyes, that's a little bit different. The eyes can respond to you looking around, but a complex eye like this, it's best for you to have a keyboard trigger where you press a key on the keyboard, and it makes the eye change to the appropriate eye level that you're after here, whether it be a blink, a wink, or maybe just sort of giving someone the evils, maybe squinting. This is majoritively reducing down to a blink and closed like this. But in the same way that the lips are stacked, you then, once you've adjusted those to having an eyeball like this one, and the mask is working over the top of them, then you stack those as well, just the same way as the lips. And that's how you make the eyes work. So, I'm not going to do all this on video, but that's the core principle. And I will advance this, and then the next video tutorial will be showing something else unique, probably in Illustrator at that point, slash character animator, and showing how the keyboard triggers work and how you can get it all to be great. Hopefully we won't get any errors with this, but you've kind of got to trial it out, test it out, and see if you are actually going to get the errors. So let's see. I'm signing off for now, and I shall see you soon. I'll charge my pencil back up as well.